That's right. My name is Mike Carter. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor here in the state of Missouri. And in some ways, I'm kind of surprised to be here tonight. When I went down to Jefferson City, I guess 2 or 3, 4 weeks ago now, I was pretty excited, I guess. Went down there. My car did break down. Once I was there, I had to take a rental car back. Luckily, it was under warranty. But I came back from there pretty ramped up. And come to find out, I guess the Democratic Party wasn't all that excited about my having decided to run for office as Lieutenant Governor. Now, if you know much about St. Charles County, that's where I hail from, Republicans kind of rule the day out there. Their primaries are basically the elections. So time and time again, I get calls. I've ran for office out there, circuit judge, some other ones done very well, actually. I got calls from candidates, candidate supporters, who were always going to tell me that my law practice could suffer if I decided to run for office out there, or if I made somebody run in the general election against a Republican and a Democrat. I always stayed the course. I always ran for office. I think it's part of the democratic process to have multiple candidates running for an office. I'm not trying to say that I want to defy the Democratic Party and run in spite of them. But that I think it's an office I can win, and that I have an interest in going forward with pursuing the office of Lieutenant Governor. So I'm used to having the calls for somebody to tell you not to run, but I think it's interesting that we did have those kind of calls. In fact, it's kind of interesting that the Republicans have inspired me to run in some ways. My thoughts are that pretty much anybody in the audience here could match wits with our President George Bush on any given day, and he's President of the United States. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. I think I could probably hold my own on a statewide office, right? And that gives us to a point of, what is it that the Lieutenant Governor does? My suspicion is a lot of us in here probably don't know much about what it is the Lieutenant Governor does, and I'll tell you in a little while that's why I'm running for it. In essence, he doesn't do a heck of a lot, or she doesn't, whoever holds the office. They sit on some boards and commissions, but really don't have any executive powers, can't effectuate any change or anything like that. In fact, our own Senator Eagleton in the past, who was Lieutenant Governor, said one of the most important parts of his day was to watch the Missouri River flow by the office window. I think I can handle that job. Other Lieutenant Governors tender right now and past candidates have ready to abolish the office, said it's overpaid, part-time, it always has some type of private law practice or other private endeavor associated with it, as its part-time job doesn't take all of the office holder's time. And it's kind of sad in a way, obviously, that is the case. But, to recognize it, I don't think it's a weakness. I don't think it's necessarily even bashing the office. I just think it's to recognize it for what it is. And there will be other candidates. I don't know Sam Page is going to get up and tell you some things about how he takes the office. His view on it will probably be very different than mine. But if they tell you that they're going to do something for you, they're going to make a change. Change is a big word in this 2008 cycle, if you haven't noticed. Obama, Hillary, even our own Jay Nixon is telling us that change is something that's going to happen. Now, they're running for offices that have change, that have the ability to change, They can effectuate new policies, they can run administrative agencies, they can pull National Guards into play. They have the ability in an executive office to do something. The Lieutenant Governor's office really can't do that. And if they come up here and tell you that they can, I start to think a little bit about that Charlie Brown teacher. If you've ever seen Charlie Brown, and the teacher's always kind of got a womp 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 or something aspect to the way she talks. That's kind of the way I take it when a Lieutenant Governor candidate says they're going to do these things for you. It's just not going to happen. I kind of tune them out. I've got some direct experience with this, and I've been selling real estate for almost 20 years. I'm a real estate attorney now. I don't sell much except commercial, but I do advise a lot of people. In the early 90s, I worked with the MHDC, the Missouri Housing and Development Commission, a heck of a lot. A heck of a lot. First-time buyers getting down payment assistance, lower interest rates, people who wanted to get into homes that they otherwise couldn't afford. Well, 93, if you remember, was a time when the floods were here in Missouri and everybody was sensitive to them, just like we are with the Merrimack River and things right now. And if the MHTC was involved with the loan, they would not, they give a rubber stamp no to any loan that you could see water from the house, you could run water out the taps. They were given no rubber stamps to everything. Try to shorten this up. I know I've only got a little time. I fought tooth and nail for some buyers that I had, probably just to get my commission. I'd like to think it's because I wanted the buyers to get into a house. I called every commissioner on the MHTC board. I got a hold of everybody in the government that I thought could help get them into this house, since the MHTC was telling them no. But that didn't happen until what? My dad, who was president of my company at that time, said, let's get a hold of Governor Mel Carnahan and see if we can get these people closed and into a house that they want. I thought it was a tall order at the time. I wasn't used to calling the governor. We faxed him, we talked to him, we were at the closing table 2 or 3 days later. That's an office that has executive powers and can make change. The Lieutenant Governor's office cannot do that. If you hear somebody telling you otherwise, I'd like you to think about my Charlie Brown lady. When I was in the Secretariat, no, that's wrong, she was here earlier, I was never in her office. I worked for her mom at the United States Senate. Jean Carnahan, I worked at the Missouri Attorney General's office. I'll probably point out to you that I was a senior fellow, I think they called it at the time, doing research, working on the Missouri's Do Not Call list. I was also at the Western District Court of Appeals. When I was there was too much to do, not enough money, and too little time. At the Lieutenant Governor's office, that's not the case. Too little to do, too much money, 84 grand a year for a part-time job. I don't know how many people in here are making 84,000. I'm not. Part-time job for 84,000 is probably too long, too much money. I'd like to change that. All right. I'll just go ahead. I started the Missouri Political Do Not Call list. I'm robo-dialing starting Saturday out to a lot of constituents across the state. If you'd like not to have a call from me, go to voteforcarter.com. I will not call you if you give me your number. I know it's self-serving. I'd like to give the Lieutenant Governor's office meaningful purpose. I think it needs the research in order to effectuate that. If it can't be given meaningful purpose, I've said, it's been in the press lately, I don't know if you've seen it, I'll give $10,000 back to Treasury of Missouri, State Treasury, or to charity if it can't be given meaningful purpose as an office as I've described to you. If you'd like any questions, I'll take them.